Share. Share via email post to your profile report story. Author's note. This chapter is a side plot for Tadamomo. You can skip it if you want since it's unrelated to the main one. Blank, underscore, blank, underscore, blank. Flashback. Do you have a special someone Todoroki? She asked whilst dancing. Yes. Does he have a girlfriend? She thought to herself. Is it okay for me to ask who? She asked, expecting an answer that would tear her heart to pieces. Sure. You, he answered. What? Shiar starts to turn red because of his revelation, letting go of Todoroki and taking a few steps back away from him. I'm sorry, did I frighten you? Can I take it back? He responded, looking a little worried because of her reaction. It made Momo chuckle a little bit. No, it's fine, Todoroki. I just didn't expect that, that's all. I see. He froze, standing on the dance floor, not knowing what to do next. I'm sorry, Yaoyorozu. That's all I have to say, he uttered. Was it inappropriate to tell you right now? No. Not at all. She began to walk closer to him, grabbing his hands and placing them to her waist. Can we continue this dance? She asked, feeling very embarrassed. Sure. I'm sorry for my reaction earlier, Todoroki. I was overwhelmed, she smiled. It's okay, Yaoyorozu. I apologize for making things awkward. No, you didn't make things awkward. It's just, I like you too, Todoroki. She began to turn crimson again as she glanced at him, waiting for a reaction. Icy Hot didn't know how to respond, but then he recalled the advice of his classmate, specifically Kirishima's. Taking a girl on a date is one of the manliest things we men can do, finally building up the courage to ask her. Yaoyorozu, is it okay for me to ask you on a date? He asked with a look of determination like never before. End of flashback. Blank, underscore, blank, underscore, blank. Thanks, Midoriya. Momo uttered, still blushing. We'll catch up with you later. After a brief conversation with their classmate, Todoroki and Yaoyorozu went out for their date. It's nice seeing Midoriya again, Momo smiled. Don't you agree, Todoroki? Todoroki felt a little hint of jealousy because of her statement. Yes, he responded. Sue, Todoroki, where are we going? She asked, smiling at her date, grabbing his arm. Well, we can watch a movie, he suggested. Blank, underscore, blank, underscore, blank. Another brief flashback, last one I swear, for this chapter. That makes sense, maybe you can just ask her, you know, Iida recommended. Promoted stories. You'll also like, Anti-Hero, 26.3K 927. Yaoyorozu Momo, Bakugo Katsuki and Todoroki Shoto are top students and unlikely friends from UA Academy, a school in an alternate Japan that has 80% of its entire populace. BNHAX Fem. Reader Onishots, 66.1K 970. This book is about Boku no Hero Academia X Fem. Reader one-shots. There will be Girl X Girl and Boy X Girl one-shots. I am also including Class 1B and some of the pro heroes. Rewind, Villain Deku, 702K 22.1K. Don't read if you don't want spoilers. Everything is spoiler in here. Read at your own will. Also, it's fanfiction. All for One breaks out. He destroys everything. He destroy. MHA reacts to Paranormal Liberation War. Company, 71K 1.8K. Paranormal Liberation War. The event that shook the world of My Hero Academia and turned the entire country of Japan into a lawless land. Many heroes lost their lives in A Dragon's Trust Book 1. 2.2M 60.2K. A Dragon's Trust BNHA Various X Nightlight. Reader Book 1. And Quat. W. What are you and Quat? And Quat. A friend. And Quat. Tilde 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 tilde. Female. Reader. Male and female love interest. The Rising of the Shield Hero of Peace. 37.6K 788. When All Might, formerly the number one hero in Japan, also known as the symbol of peace, is transported to a world where he is dubbed in Quad, the Shield Hero in Quad, his name. Firestorm. My Hero Academia X Reader. 82.9K 2.1K. This is my first My Hero Academia book. In a world where everyone has this unique power called a quirk, there is one problem child with an powerful quirk but also a famil. That wouldn't work, Iida. Just take her to see a movie and dinner afterwards. You know normal date stuff, Tokiyami advised. Who would have thought Tokiyami would be the one who knows more about this stuff, Shoji pointed out. Yeah, the most awkward guys in class got the girls. How did that happen? Sato chuckled. You got anything to say, Bakugo? Kaminari asked. If Icy Hot really likes Ponytail, he'll just have to make sure he keeps her. You're overthinking things, you idiots. Things are getting creepy, Bakugo gave an advice. Are you sick or something? Ojiro asked. Mind your own business extra. Hey, I think Tokiyami's suggest is by far the best one. Why don't you take her to a movie? I heard one that had just been released. It's from a manga I borrowed from you that one time, Siro suggested. DBS. Wouldn't that be a little awkward for a date? Todoroki asked. A manga-based movie for a first date. Indeed, Iida thought. I'll be wearing suit and tie and I imagine she'll be wearing something formal too. Wouldn't that be awkward for a movie date in public? He asked. Iida gasped in disbelief. That's what he meant by awkward. Unbelievable, he thought. I have an idea. Denki declared. You're a rich dude. Why don't you reserve the whole cinema? He suggested. That way you don't have to worry about the awkwardness. That's preposterous, Iida declared. Reserving one would be a huge expense for Todoroki. Todoroki responded. That's a good idea, Kaminari. Maybe I can do that. You agreed. What is wrong with you people? Iida began to kung fu the air. Todoroki, Mineta called, looking very disturbing. These idiots don't know what they are talking about. If you're going on a date with Yaoyorozu, bring a con. Blank, underscore, blank, underscore, blank. Aren't we dressed a little too formal for something like that? She chuckled at the suggestion. Todoroki felt flustered by her reply. Well, that's what I thought at first, but I decided to rent a movie theater for a certain time slot. You rented a movie theater? She stared at him in disbelief. Why would you do that, Todoroki? He placed his other hand on the back of his neck. I thought it would be a little awkward if we went in public dressed like this. He blushed slightly, so the guy suggested I reserve a movie theater just for us. He smiled slightly. She can't help but smile back at the man's effort. That's really sweet. Sue, what are we going to watch? He felt awkward on what he was about to say. DBS. DBS. What's that? It's a movie based on manga. Oh, sorry. I didn't know. I don't usually watch those kind of shows. She looked down all flustered. Should we cancel then? He asked. I'm sorry, I thought it would be a good idea. No, don't. We can still watch. She smiled. If you like it, then it must be good, right? Maybe I'll like it too. She cheered. All right then. He smiled back. So Todoroki, how are we going to go there? I asked Kurumada to drive us for our date. Who's that? She asked, as a limo suddenly stopped in front of them, lowering down the car window. Good afternoon, Mr. Todoroki. Ms. Yaoyorozu, I'll be your driver for your date, Kurumada greeted. He's our driver, Todoroki explained as he opens the car door for Yaoyorozu. You really prepared a lot for our date, Todoroki, she complimented before entering the limo. Oh, of course I wanted this date to be special, he uttered, making Momo blush. Blank, underscore, blank, underscore, blank. Hours later, after they left the movie theater. I have to say, Todoroki, I enjoyed the movie. She smiled. I'm glad you did. It kind of reminds me of Midoriya and Bakugo when they fought that nine villain. Although they didn't combine their bodies, she chuckled. Maybe we can watch the anime sometime, she suggested, smiling at her date. His face lit up. Really? That would be a great idea, Yaoyorozu. She didn't reply, only staring at him. What's wrong? Nothing. It's just that it's a first seeing you smiling and all riled up about something, she cheered. The statement made Todoroki blush a bit. So where to next, Mr. Todoroki? She flirted. UHHMM. Dinner. I actually made a reservation in Coruscant restaurant. Isn't that a five-star restaurant? She asked. He didn't hold back at all, she thought. Yes, come on, we'll be late, he uttered, opening the car door once again for her. Blank, underscore, blank, underscore, blank. At the restaurant, good evening, reservations for Shoto Todoroki? He asked the hostess. Ah yes, Mr. Todoroki, follow me, leading them towards the restaurant balcony. Todoroki, why is the restaurant balcony empty? She asked, looking very curious. Don't tell me, I reserved it for dinner, he shyly responded, scratching the top of his head. What, you didn't have to do that, Todoroki. I wanted to. He smiled, so there wouldn't be any noise. She couldn't help but get overwhelmed by his efforts. That's sweet. We should sit down now, he suggested, pulling a seat for her. All right, blank, underscore, blank, underscore, blank. Skip to when they're having dinner. So, how's the food? He asked while holding a spoon. It's delicious, Todoroki. I'm glad you brought me here, she smiled. Can I ask you something? Sure, Yaoyorozu. Why did you put all this efforts for our date? I mean, I appreciate it, of course, but wouldn't it very expensive? You reserved a whole theater for us, and reserved the whole balcony of this expensive restaurant. She asked while using her fork to pick food. I just wanted this date to be special. He replied, the expense wouldn't matter as long as it's for you. He blushed slightly. There was a brief silence before Momo replied. When did you get so romantic, Todoroki? She chuckled. If you keep that up, you might make me fall for you, she teased, staring at his eyes. What? I shouldn't have reserved this balcony, he uttered, looking concerned. The statement made Yaoyorozu laugh. Not like that, dummy. You know, sometimes I forget how innocent you are, she smiled. I'm sorry, Yaoyorozu. No, it's okay, I actually find it cute, she uttered, placing her hand on top of Todoroki's hand, pulling him, effectively making him lean forward. She then planted a kiss on his cheek. What was that for, Yaoyorozu? He asked nicely, looking very shy. Sorry, it's for tonight, since I wouldn't be able to do that later, she smiled. Thank you, Todoroki. This is the best night I ever had, she declared. Blank, underscore, blank, underscore, blank. Author's note. If you read it, you might be wondering why they act like that. Todoroki's an awkward guy and a bit dense at times. I tried to dial down on the cheesiness this time.